Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys here today that I may get into a little bit of a rant, but before we get into it, I want you guys to please stick around and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Now, I'm actually a little bit under the weather. I had to go to the hospital today for a particular reason, but I'm working through it, right? It's the end of the month. We said, hey, let's just do something before we close out the month and do our best if we can, right? No load managing on the channel today. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. Now, as y'all know, there was a pretty big game that was played a number of nights ago, maybe 3 nights ago, against the Lakers versus the Boston Celtics, right? It was a marquee game. And in that game, LeBron was, putting on the show, right? Putting on the show. And I was watching a little bit of that game, and I was also watching the Clippers game. But I was watching that Clippers game first because the Clippers game started before the Lakers game, right? And something about that game actually told me, I had a feeling. I said, you know what? I have a feeling that the Lakers are going to come away victorious in this game. And they were playing the Boston Celtics pretty close. And it was a fun matchup, obviously. Towards the waning moments of the game, there was a controversial non-call that occurred in that game. I'm sure you guys have now seen that particular play ad nauseum, I'm sure, at this particular point. LeBron was driving towards the basket. I think it was maybe like a dribble handoff or something like that. Subsequently, people said that actually he traveled. Even Jay Williams, who believes that LeBron James is the GOAT of basketball, he said that LeBron traveled and I didn't notice it, but I'm sure a lot of people picked up on it. Anyway, he was driving towards the basket, and he was going up for a left-handed layup. And as y'all know, LeBron James is ambidextrous, right? So he writes actually with his left hand. That's actually the hand he writes with, but he shoots with his right hand. And he was about to lay in the ball, had the perfect trajectory. And then I believe Jason Tatum, if I'm not mistaken, is it Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown? I think it was Jason Tatum, hit him on the arm. Now, initially when it happened so fast, I didn't even see it when I was watching the highlights of it. But then once they slowed it down, you could see that Jason Tatum clearly hit LeBron's hand so hard, or hard enough at least, that it was able to send a jolt through his hand, which caused him to kind of fumble the ball. The ball actually left his palm, and his shot went off trajectory, and he ended up missing a layup, what looked like an absolute layup. And he had hit a similar shot like this when he was playing with the Miami Heat against the Indiana Pacers, if I'm not mistaken, in the playoffs as a buzzer beater. And the moment LeBron missed the shot, you could see him in total disbelief. He was flailing all over the court, jumping all over the court. And I was like, this was before I actually saw the replay. I was like, man, this is crazy, right? At one point, I thought LeBron was actually going to start crying the way he was flailing all over the court, and the way he was just, he was in total disbelief that the referees didn't call the foul. And after when we saw the replay, in fact, we saw that he in fact was fouled. And there was a pretty comical moment on there when Patrick Beverley took the camera of a photographer. Because at first I was like, where did he get this camera from? I know he didn't get it from the Lakers staff. Then it dawned on me, okay, he got it from a photographer to go there to show the referee, like, hey, you guys messed up, right? And he also got a T for that. And we all know what happened. The game goes into overtime. The Celtics end up winning the game. And ever since that day, it seems like, the media, this was on Sunday. Yeah, it was on Sunday, January 29th. And ever since that day, it's all the media has been talking about ever since, that missed call. Now, initially, when that happened, I expected people to talk about it, right? I expected it to be a topic item. But as the days have gone by, it seems like this is turning into something that I have never seen before. We all know that the referees they miss calls from time to time, right? I, as a Kawhi Leonard fan, was a part of one of the most egregious charge calls that I've seen in a very long time. When the Clippers, this is when James Harden had originally got to the team, the Brooklyn Nets. Kawhi Leonard was driving down the lane, I believe, to tie the game. And James Harden created a contact, and Kawhi just kind of pushed him a little bit. Not even pushed him, just to get him off of him. James Harden flailed up his arms, totally flopped, and they called it an offensive foul. It was an absolute flop. And I was in absolute total disbelief. Kawhi was shocked. The Clippers bench was shocked that the referees called that an offensive foul. And I couldn't believe that they called that foul and caused the Clippers to actually give up the possession of the ball and lose that game. The point I'm trying to make is that all of us NBA fans have been a part of a particular moment where a call didn't go in our favor for the player or the team that we're supporting. It has happened literally to all of us. But in this particular instance, it seems like this is turning into something I have never seen before. The way that they're spending so much time discussing this non-call, the call that the referee missed, is unlike anything I've seen. And I had to ask myself the question this morning. I'm like, yo, wait a minute. Was this a playoff game? Was this a playoff game? Like, what is going on here? Why are we spending so much time talking about this missed call? When did it now all of a sudden become common knowledge? When did we all of a sudden decide that now, okay, referees blow from time to time, they get the calls wrong? When I thought we always knew this. It's part of human error. I thought we always knew this. Like, when did this all of a sudden become this big topic for us to be talking about? This was something that we all knew. So why is it that all of a sudden we're spending all this time on this? And my thing is, why is this such a big deal? Now, LeBron was so disgruntled by what happened. He took to Twitter. He voiced his opinion on Twitter. And then even the NBA, I guess they felt the pressure or whatever. Subsequently, I think within the same night, the late game report they put out, they admitted that the referees got it wrong. And I'm like, okay, so why aren't we moving on from this? Why are we still talking about this? Why is this now turning into a thing of NBA officiating? I even heard Anthony Davis talk about referees should be fined. Really, bro? Refs should be fined? Referees should be fined. Are you kidding me now? Really? Because they got that call wrong. Now all of a sudden they should be fined if they make a mistake? What are we talking about? Referees earn nowhere near the amount of money that players and coaches earn. So to say for them, to say that now if they make a mistake and it's an actual mistake, they need to be fined. This is crazy. If I make a mistake in my job, I should now start being deducted my salary. This is crazy. Now it happens to players, but players earn so much more money than referees that you can at least understand it. Referees aren't earning millions of dollars a year as their base salary, and all of a sudden we can just start deducting it whenever they make whenever they get a call wrong. That's the first part. And the second part is like, yo, what are we talking about? This, first of all, the Lakers are the number 13 seed. If they won that game highest, they would have still been the number 13 seed. What are we talking about here? That's number one. Number two, the Lakers played that game. They lost that game. Then the very next night or the very next game, they ended up load managing Anthony Davis and LeBron James. They didn't play and they ended up losing the game to Brooklyn. So what are we talking about? If the Lakers were so, disgruntled about what happened, why didn't they play their stars the following game to make sure that they were able to get back in the win column? They sat them the very next game and they lost. Why are we making such a big deal out of this? What's the big hoopla all about? Like, yo, what is going on out here, man? What's going on? Like, like y'all, the media, y'all are fighting so hard for Bron to win. Like, yo, this is crazy. This is crazy. Like, yo, what is going on? There's so many other players in the NBA that we don't spend half the time on. Y'all are fighting so hard to make him win. Like, what is going on here? What is going on? You can at least talk about our channel and say, oh, well, you guys don't talk about that many things. Yeah, because it's just one show. It's one person. You're talking about entire networks that have a line of staff members that can talk about so many different things. They have shows running 18, 20 hours a day. So you can talk about so many things. Why are we spending so much time talking about this? Okay, even if they got it right, they still would have been a 13th seed in the Western Conference. What are we doing? What are we doing right now? Like, what are we doing? This is crazy. Since when did we start spending so much time on a team that's a 13th seed? It's not like as if we're talking about a layup that was to decide a playoff game or a playoff series. They still would have been a bad team. Like, yo, what are we doing? And then for them to turn around the very next game and then sit their stars, like, yo, what are we doing? This is corny at this point. This is what y'all are talking about. They blew the, oh my God, now we got to do it, and we got to do a deep dive into officiating. Are you freaking kidding me? I didn't see none of this when referees were getting calls wrong in the playoffs. What are we doing right now? Like, this is ridiculous. They still talking about it. All the ESPN and these boys, like, yo, come on. This is nauseating. This is why I say sometimes, y'all be looking at me like, yo, he hate it. It looks like y'all trying to force it down our throat. Why y'all fighting so hard to make LeBron win? Nobody else got this pass, man. I never saw people fighting so hard for Kobe to win. I never saw people fighting so hard for Kawhi to win or Giannis to win. I never saw them do that. Why for this dude we doing it so much? LeBron is the top 5 player of all time. But come on, this is nauseating. Y'all ain't got nothing else to talk about? How much we gonna twerk it up? Like, how long we gonna do this for? Come on. I think the whole thing is corny and it's ridiculous at this point. It's ridiculous at this point. This is ridiculous. Okay, they got it wrong. The team still sucks. What's new? Can we move on, please? Like, y'all, what are we fighting for? Are we fighting for the game that they lost or the fact that what? Because they turned around the next game and sat the LeBron and AD down, they still lost. So what are we talking about? You're acting like as if they would have won that game, that would have put them into the playoffs or something. I don't understand. That's just me. I think the whole thing is weird. But y'all let me know in the comment section, man. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next one. Peace.